everyone, you are all so welcome to our live webinar, Stay Safe with Jessy.
Hi Alison, sorry I'm a little late.
Hi Jessy, it's so great to see you and thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited about the amazing show we have lined up for everyone. Jessy, can you tell us what you'll be doing?
Yes Alison, I'm super excited too. Today I'll be sharing my top safety tips around animals and machinery on farms and how to recognise the different safety signs on farms.
Thank you Jessy, we really cannot wait to see your presentations. Also joining us in the studio today we have Francis Bligh, the Teagasc Health and Safety Specialist, and we'll be going live to St Joseph's National School in Rathwire, County Westmeath to hear from all the boys and girls there, along with Alma Jordan from Agrikids.
I'm so excited to hear from all the kids at St Joseph's School.
And Jessy, you have some very exciting news to share at the end of the show, don't you?
Yes Alison, I sure do. I'll be announcing the winners of the Stay Safe with Jessy art competition, and oh boy was the competition stiff. The judges had a tough job deciding the winners as the standard was so good.
Okay Jessy, don't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
Did you say cat? Where?
Only kidding Jessy, come back, we need you here. Okay everyone, let's get the show started.
When I'm on the farm, I keep away from tractors because the driver might not see or hear me.
I love feeding the cattle on our farm, but I always have Daddy or Mommy or Granny or Granddad with me.
I never go into a farmyard or field on my own because there are lots of dangers like animals or tractors, so I always have a parent or adult with me to keep me safe.
When we go to the farmyard, we always look out for safety signs, and if we see a safety sign, we know to stay away.
Hi everyone, my name is Alison Maloney and I'm your host for today. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to the kids that you've just seen in the videos who shared their safety tips with us when they're on farms. You also got a glimpse of the excellent artwork that we received. In total, we had over 1,300 entries to the competition, and as mentioned, we'll be revealing the winners later in the show. Before we begin, I just want to mention that this webinar is being recorded and will be available to view later on YouTube. We want you, our audience, to be a part of today's show. So if you have a question, please ask your teacher to submit it using the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen, and I will ask your question on your behalf during the show. As mentioned, we have an exciting show lined up for you today. We're going to discuss farm safety signs and what they mean. We're going to learn how we can stay safe around farm machinery, and we'll talk about how to stay safe around farm animals. You'll be glad to know that Jessy is back in studio with us. She's been really busy over the past few days, putting together presentations for today's show. So to get us started, I'm going to hand you over to Jessy, who will firstly give a talk on safety signs. Over to you, Jessy.
Thanks Alison. Good morning everyone. Have you ever noticed that safety signs come in 4 different colors? Blue, yellow, red, and green. They are telling us how to behave, as each color reminds us how careful we need to be. You see, yellow signs are warning us of something that could be dangerous and to take extra care. Red signs are saying no, we are not allowed, while green signs are telling us we can exit. Finally, we have the blue sign. They are telling us what we have to do. So next time you spot a safety sign, can you tell how safe we need to be just by the color you see? Back to you, Alison.
Thank you, Jessy. Some really practical advice there. Francis, I did notice that some signs have pictures on them, some have words on them, but the colours really help us to know the level of caution we need to take.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jessy. That was a great piece of information, great presentation. So the colours tell us how careful we need to be and what we need to do. So as Jessy said, the blue tells us what we need to use, like, you know, goggles. The red is that we can't go in. It's a stop sign. It's no access. The yellow then maybe beware, like electric fences. So Jessy, well done. That's a great piece of information.
Thanks so much, Francis. So now we're going to head up the country to County Westmeath to visit St. Joseph's National School, where we're going to meet all the boys and girls who are there with Alma Jordan from Agrikids. Alma is going to discuss safety signs with the boys and girls. So over we go to St. Joseph's. Hey Alma, it's great to see you again and all the boys and girls there in class with you. I can see you brought Jessy and her friends there as well today. Everyone looks really excited, so whenever you're ready, Alma, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Alison and Jessy, and welcome everybody here to Seomra Teagasc in St. Joseph's National School in Rathwire, where, yes indeed guys, we're going to learn a little bit more about those safety signs. And guess what? I brought a few with me. So, Jessy has already told us quite a little bit about the signs, so let's see what you guys can remember. For example, if we see the blue sign, can you remember what that means? What does that one mean? Absolutely, I call it the bossy sign. When it's blue, then you have to. It's mandatory. Now, what if I showed you though the red sign, guys? Was that a yes or what do you think it means?
Like a stop sign, you can't do it.
Absolutely. Is it a yes or a no? It's an absolute no. Well done. You absolutely can't. What color sign means yes? Does anybody remember? What do you think?
Green.
Green. Well done. Now I'm wondering if everybody at home can look around our classroom, even look here. Can we see any green signs? I see one right at the door actually, and it has a tick sign. So any kind of exit sign, assembly sign, that will be your green sign. But we've other colours. We've got the yellow sign as well. And I've brought a few of those with me. What did the yellow sign mean? Does anybody remember that one? What was the yellow sign? Absolutely correct. It's a warning sign. So guys, if we saw that warning sign, what do we have to be careful of? Can anybody remember? What is it? Electricity, electric fences, absolutely. Now, I know a lot of you are actually living on farms. I live on a farm also, and we have a lot of animals who sometimes like to break out, which isn't good, is it? No. So we use a lot of electric fences. Is it a good idea to use my hand to touch the electric fence? Yes or no? No, you get a horrible shock. So there's actually 3 things that we can do. 1, if we listen, we might hear a very distinctive sound to let us know the fence is switched on. Does anybody know what that sounds like? Make the noise for me. What do you all think? Who's ticking? Yeah? Tick, 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 tick. We make that ticking or clicking sound. We can use our eyes and look for a sign. What color is it going to be?
Yellow.
Yellow, well done. And we can also ask somebody as well, couldn't we? And if we're very fancy, we might even have a gadget just like that, a fence tester. Now, my next 2 warning signs are a bit of a double one, okay? They have a double meaning. If you see a warning sign like that, what's the danger? What's the danger?
Flowing water.
Flowing water. It's a water danger, a water hazard, a drowning hazard. And sometimes this sign and this next sign might be together. What's that a warning sign for? It's a bit spooky, I know. What's that a warning sign for? Slurry pit. And why would we have a skull and crossbones, I wonder? What do you think?
It means it'll kill you.
It could, and actually it could be something poisonous or toxic could be in there. And when we have this sign and this sign together, and there's a bit of a smell, I'm in somewhere specific on the farm, and it begins with S. And there's a funny smell. What is it? Where am I?
Open slurry pits.
I'm at the slurry pit. Guys, do you all know what slurry is? Oh, I thought you might. What is slurry? Who'd like to? What do you think? Well done. Very good answer. It is. It's animal poo, animal wee-wee. Normally they're normally cows, but you know, pigs, chickens, they're also good for a bit of slurry. Now, to demonstrate how slurry can be dangerous, I need you to use your imagination, guys, okay? Because I couldn't bring a slurry tank into this beautiful school. So this bottle of cola is my pretend slurry tank. In winter, we don't spread slurry. Nothing is growing. It's too cold, and we're not allowed, okay? But can I tell my animals not to do a poo-poo or a pee-pee for all of winter? No. So they carry on doing their poo-poos and their wee-wees, which fill up the tanks. And this stuff is alive. It's living matter. There's bugs and bacteria eating and drinking and breaking down this, okay? And when they're doing it, they're letting off a gas. This gas is very poisonous, okay? It's called hydrogen sulfide. So when it comes to springtime, when we can mix and agitate our slurry, we've got to be super careful. I put in the agitator, I start the mixing, and do we see what happens in our slurry tank? We start to release that very, very toxic gas. Woo! So just like a fizzy drink, we have actually created a very dangerous situation. But slurry is very good. It nourishes our grass, which will feed our animals. So is slurry good for grass? Is it good for me and you? Should we be anywhere near the agitation point when we're mixing slurry? Absolutely not. And we stay away for about an hour. Now, before we head back to the studio, I think somebody has a question on signs. Who has a question?
Where can we look for these signs?
Where can you look for the signs? Well, in different parts of the farmyard, these signs will be put up. You'll see the skull and crossbones letting you know where the chemical shed is. You'll see a tractor sign letting you know where the machinery is. And even before you set foot on the actual farmyard, there will be a full sign letting you know of the different dangers. And they'll all be in those different colours. Great question. Thanks a million. Alison, it's back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Alma. That was a really great presentation, and well done to all the kids there. They sure seem to be really knowledgeable about farm safety signs. Francis, I have a couple of questions for you, but don't worry, we're going back to Alma again shortly. Francis, it's great that we know all about signs now, but what if you were to come across a cabinet and it was full of chemicals, but the doors were unlocked? What would you recommend that a child do in that case?
What I recommend the child to do is to stand back. As Alma has talked about there, you would see the skull and the crossbones, and that's telling you there's chemicals. So straight away, if you know your signs, you know there's danger, you know there's chemicals. You know, when you look into the cabinet, there might be lots of containers, and there'd be lovely colours, and there could be jars and different things that you might like to use, but it's very dangerous, highly dangerous. So stay back, tell the farmer that, or your parent or whoever is responsible for the cabinet, that the door is open, it's not locked, and they should lock it, and stay away.
Yeah, stay away, that's the key. Just one more, Francis. This time of year, there'll be plenty of children who aren't from a farm, but they may be going down the country to visit a farm during the summer. What advice would you give them to look out for?
Well, back to the signs again, what Jessy and what Alma have talked about, and the children. You know, when you're on the farm, look out for the signs that you might see. It'll show you where the dangers are. Obviously, stay with the responsible adult that you're with. If you're visiting a farm, sometimes maybe it might be a friend. You know, stay with them. Make sure there's a responsible adult with you at all times. Look out for the dangers and stay safe.
Brilliant. Thank you, Francis. So we're going to move on now to the next area, which is safety around farm machinery. Jessy, I believe you have some great advice for us on farm machinery.
Yes, Alison, I sure have. This is a really important topic. Tractors and farm machinery. Did you know that tractors have blind spots, which means there are certain areas around a tractor where you cannot be seen? That's why it's so important never to be in a tractor's blind spot, because the driver will not be able to see you and will not be able to hear you over the engine noise. Farmers can stay safe when using their tractors by wearing their seatbelts, getting in and out of the tractor correctly, making sure their tractors are in good working condition so they can get their work done. All passengers must be older than 7 years of age, and only when there is a seat with a seat belt. Our tractors are much bigger now, Alison, so that's why we must be more careful.
Jessy, brilliant presentation there. You can clearly see how big and powerful the machinery can be and the many dangers involved. Francis, have you any further thoughts on what Jessy outlined there?
Yeah, well, just to add to what Jessy has said, the tractors that we have nowadays are big, and they also have big machines, and they're noisy. And all that put together means that the driver has a lot to do to try and manage the machine. And sometimes there's poor visibility. The large machines on front and the sides can reduce the visibility. And that means that children and ourselves as adults need to be aware of the fact that the driver might not see you. There might be blind spots that the driver can't see, and that means you can't be seen. So what I would advise people to do is always stay back and give the tractor driver space.
Yeah. These machines, they're massive, but they're also noisy, right?
Yes.
So they can't hear you either.
Exactly.
We're going to head back now to Alma and all the boys and girls in St. Joseph's to hear more from them about safety around machinery.
Thank you, Alison, and welcome back to St. Joseph's National School in Rathwire, where indeed we're going to be talking about the number one dangers, tractors and machinery. Did you all know that when we're talking about the speed or power of a tractor, we talk about its horsepower? Does anybody know why it's called horsepower? Why do we say horsepower? Horses were the very first tractors, guys, and sometimes they were so expensive, up to 5 farms shared the one horse. It was known as a corps or a co-op. Now, when I was growing up, the back wheel of our tractor was an International 484, 50 horsepower. Back wheel was about that big. Okay, I was about that big. But then as I got bigger, tractor wheels have gotten bigger. And now on average, the back wheel of a tractor is at least 6 feet tall. So when I'm standing behind my tractor, I'm only about here. When I'm in my car with the little wheels, I'm close to the ground and I can see you. Hi. But as soon as I climb inside the tractor, I'm lifted way up off the ground and my vision goes straight ahead. If I was in my tractor right now, guys, and you were standing here, could I see you? No. Here? Yeah. Here. 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 Yeah, kind of. These mirrors are what I am relying on, which isn't great. But when I'm inside the cab of my tractor, safest place for me to be. And the best way to make sure I stay safe and sound inside that cab is by putting something on that you guys do every time you get into a car. What is it? Seatbelt. A seatbelt. Show me all how you put on a seatbelt, please. I want to see a demo. Excellent work. Your first job, guys, as all these farm safety experts in training. Ask all the farmers if they have a seatbelt in their tractor. And if they do, remind them how to put it on, okay? So we know blind spots are very, very crucial in preventing an accident. But I brought another piece of equipment from our farm. Oh, and it's very heavy. Does anybody know what this is? Yeah, what's this?
The shaft.
It is a shaft. It's a drive shaft, also known as a PTO, which stands for power takeoff. What does the PTO do?
Powers the tanker to slip up, sir.
Good job. I put this piece on the back of my tractor on a little shaft, which is attached to an engine. I click on this piece, and when I turn on my engine, that metal bar is spinning at great speed. Okay, and depending on the horsepower of the tractor, this is turning anywhere between 9 or 16 times a second. So it's kind of like a vacuum. It'll suck in anything that gets too close, okay? And unfortunately, when that happens, this can be the situation. Is that a good situation?
No.
No, it is not. So like piece of clothing, loose hair, also, you know, grass, hay, dust, all those things can get caught up in a rotating PTO. Should we ever be able to see that bar? No, absolutely not. So how, I mean, I need the PTO. It works my tractor, but how can I make sure I stay safe when I'm using it? What do I do? Turn off the tractor. And should I put something on it, I wonder? At the back, yeah?
You can put a cover off it.
Well done. Yeah, always, always make sure we put on the cover. We lock it with the chain, so it's locked here. But look, it can still move very easily on the inside, okay? These are very, very important pieces of kit, and this is probably the most important of all. Now, I'm just wondering, if you saw a PTO cover, guys, that looked like this, it's good, isn't it?
No.
What's wrong with it? It's fine, it's a PTO cover. What's wrong with it? It is broken. Do you think I should swap it out? Do you think I should take better care of my PTO covers?
Yes.
Do you think all farmers should have their PTOs covered?
Yes.
Well done, guys, absolutely. Now, before we head back to studio, do we have a question about tractors? Yes.
What do we do if we want to talk to a person on a tractor?
Great question. This actually happened to me when I was little. I was sent out to the field to get my father's attention. I knew he was far away, okay? But I knew he could see me if I did something. I couldn't shout because obviously it was soundproofed. So I stood at the gate, and to get his attention, I put my 2 arms in the air. Follow me. 2 arms in the air, okay? And I waved, not a little hi. I did a great, big, huge, massive wave. My father could see me doing that, and that's when he stopped the engine. He came out and he beckoned to me. Farmers might also beat their horn to let you know. Do we ever approach it?
No.
No, when that engine is on, we stay back. Guys, thanks a million. Alison, that's all from us for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Alma, and a great question there from one of the kids in relation to getting the attention of a tractor driver. Just on that, Francis, it's just as important that when we're out cycling or walking on the roads that we know how to stay safe. What advice do you give there?
Well, the main piece of advice is that before you go out on the road to make yourself visible. So think about the clothing you're wearing.
Yeah.
You know, wear your high vis so that everyone on the road sees you, cars and machinery. The other piece of advice is be able to hear, you know, have your ears, you know, don't have them covered so that if a machine is coming, that you can hear it from far away.
Yeah.
And then visibility, have a look around, be aware, be alert. If you see a machine, tractor approaching, you know, it's important to think about the tractor driver. Remember what Alma has said about the blind spots, that tractor driver may not just see you. And we talked about the size of these machines and the big machines that they're carrying like mowers or vacuum tankers. So stand in and stand on the one side of the road if you can. So stand in off the side of the road and give that tractor driver as much space as possible to pass by safely.
Thank you, Francis. Alma mentioned as well about the PTO and the importance of having a cover on the PTO shaft. This is really important, isn't it? And we should stay well away from that. Yeah,
to add to Alma's conversation with the children there and the great comments that they had, the PTO transfers the power. Like as Alma said, you know, horses, maybe 100 horses transferring from the tractor engine to the machine. So it's very, very strong. And if we come in contact with that, it's going to be serious for us. So we need to have our cover on. We need to make sure it's well maintained. If it gets damaged for any reason, it needs to be replaced. And if a child, you know, sees a cover that isn't perfectly on the shaft or it's broken, they should bring it to the attention of the tractor driver when it's safe to do so. Obviously, not get themselves in harm's way.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best piece of advice I can give. Just keep aware and let people know if they see damage to shafts.
Brilliant, thank you.
And stay clear of it. Never go near the shaft, as Alma and the children have said.
Brilliant, thank you, Francis. Okay, Jessy, animals can be our pets and our friends, but it's important that we know how to be careful around them, right?
Yes, Alison, it is. Earlier we learned that warning signs use different colours to show us how safe we need to be. But how do we know the warning signs when it comes to animals? We have to watch their body language and listen to the sounds they make. That's how animals tell us when they're happy, scared, or want to be left alone. On the farm, it's especially important to pay attention to these signs. Cows might shake their heads from side to side when they're annoyed or angry. Horses may swish their tails, stomp their hooves, or even pin their ears back if they're feeling irritated. Sheep and goats can become jumpy or move away quickly if they're scared. Dogs on the farm might growl, raise their tails, or avoid eye contact when they're unsure. Even the position of their ears matter. Ears forward can mean alert or curious, but ears flat or back can be a warning to stay back. I know when I feel grumpy or unwell, I might growl a little or droop my tail and ears. But when I'm feeling great, I wag my tail and grab my favourite ball to play. That's why it's really important, especially for kids, to always be careful around farm animals. Don't run or shout near them. Don't go near them or try to pet them without checking with an adult. And always give animals space when they seem unsure. Alison, farm animals are amazing, but they need us to understand their warning signs so we can all stay safe and happy together.
Thanks for that, Jessy. I don't think I've ever seen you in bad form, to be fair. You're always in great form, and I know you love playing with that ball of yours. Francis, Jessy gave some excellent advice there. Have you anything else to add in?
Well, to add to what Jessy has said, we need to see animals as, on the farm, they need to be kind of respected. We need to respect animals on the farm because they're not toys. Large animals are large and they can be dangerous. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to have that in the back of our head. And then to know animals that are maybe aggressive, or to know the signs of animals when they're being playful or when they're being aggressive. So that's very, very important.
Thank you, Francis. Alma, you have a great group of kids there with you. They're all full of energy. We're looking forward to hearing what you have to say about farm animals.
Thank you, Alison. This is actually my favourite part of all. I absolutely love the animals. And actually, guys, I have a picture of a bull here. And I want you all, as best as you can, to take a good look at this bull. What do you think he might be saying? Can you read his body language? You think it's positive or negative? What do you think?
Negative.
Negative, exactly. You guys are getting the look. If you're ever at home and you're being a little bit naughty and your mommy and daddy give you the wait till I get my hands on you look, that's exactly what that bull is doing. He's a very territorial creature, and going into his field can trigger a lot of his aggressions, pawing at the ground, tossing the head. He's a whole field of cows he's trying to mind there. You're not welcome. Now, ways to keep ourselves safe around bulls. We can do two things. One, what goes into the bull's nose at about 10 or 11 months old? What do you think?
A ring.
A ring. Now, that isn't to make him look pretty. That's to do something very particular. That's a very strong but very sensitive area. And placing a ring in there helps calm the bull. But we can also put a rope and a chain on. Okay, teach the bull how to be led and how to be handled. And make sure we keep it just long enough that if they did drop the head, maybe to take a run, that they are inclined to stand on it and jerk themselves back. Now, we will also only leave the feed troughs for our bulls and our cattle at the gate. That way we're in and we're out, not having to walk in far. Now, I'm actually wearing red today near this bull. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? What do you all think? Yeah, what do you think? Do bulls not like red? No? I want you all to listen up here. Some of you might know this, but bulls are actually colorblind. They can't see red, they can't see green. What they don't like is movement, things waving or shaking, and certainly going into their fields. But he's not the most dangerous member of the bovine family we've got to keep an eye on. Meet Barney's girlfriend, Camilla. Say hi.
Hello, Camilla.
Hi, Camilla. Exactly. I'd be nice to her too. Does anybody know a reason why Camilla might be considered more dangerous than Barney? What do you think?
She tried to keep calf safe.
She is keeping her calf safe. She's been a good mum, isn't she? Minding her baby. And if you all guys look there now, you see you're getting the look. Is that the good look or the bad look? That's the bad look, absolutely. Another animal I brought with me is actually one from our farm. And I know some of you like horses. They're very expressive creatures and they will use their ears to let you know how they feel. Are you ready? Hands out, ears on. When they're happy to see you, they're pricked forward and alert. When they're listening, they're twisting. When they're a bit tired, lazy, chilling, they flop. And if they're angry, sad, nervous, upset, where do those ears go? Back. Well done. What mood is Maggie in today? She's in a bad mood. Look at those ears. They are back. Do you want to know why, though? She just become a mummy. She'd had a baby, a foal. And was she being a protective mum? Was she welcoming me or asking me to go away? She was asking me to go away, exactly. Now, other animals I've brought with me today, you're going to tell me, just by looking at these guys, if they're feeling good or bad. Are you ready? Let's have a look at that one. How's that cat feeling? Good? Feeling good? Well done. How about that cat? Bad. Well done. Yeah, not a happy catty. What about that one? There's a specific emotion here. How do you think the cat is feeling?
Scared.
Scared. Well done, guys. A scaredy cat, the poor thing. What about Larry? Happy. Is Larry comfortable with you?
Yes.
Is he chilling with you?
Yes.
Or do you feel safe and confident around Larry?
Yes.
And he therefore feels safe and confident around you. However, Larry has a cousin. Do you want to meet him? You sure? What's the situation here? Angry. Is this dog welcoming you? Is he smiling at you? Or is he snarling at you? So how we can read the animals is absolutely crucial. I'm going to take this one step further because I brought Jessy with me today, my own little Jessy. And you guys are going to tell me if I'm handling Jessy nice or not nice. Are you ready? Excellent. Okay. Okay.
Good.
Good? Are you sure?
Not nice.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm squeezing him in here. Do you see that? Absolutely. This is where they eat, drink, communicate. If you're squeezing here or here, you're basically saying, well, you can't eat, you can't breathe, you can't do any of those things. And you're frightening them, you're threatening them, okay? So if you've got little brothers and sisters along their back, tickle on the head, chin and chest, and if they do this, is this a good sign?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're inviting you to give them a belly rub. I have a little rhyme. One hand is enough, two hands are too rough. Say that with me. One hand is enough, two hands are too rough. And it's very important, guys, especially with farm animals. Are they pets?
No.
No, they're animals doing very important work. So over the summer, if you're on a petting farm, if you're at a friend's house and you're petting or touching animals and maybe going for something to eat afterwards, what do we have to do with our hands? Wash out. What color will the hand washing sign be? Blue, because it's mandatory, exactly. So everybody, you're going to follow me. Let's make bubbles. Let's rub them on top. Keep going, please don't stop. Give your palm a little twist. Then head over and clean each wrist. Clean your thumb one by one. Keep going, but we're nearly done. Then wriggle your fingers in between. Rinse those hands because they're nice and clean. 20 seconds, warm soapy water, you're good to go. Now, does anybody have a question about the animals? Yes.
I often see other kids playing with or bottle feeding lambs. Is that okay?
Well, this is where we have to look out for those mothers, those very protective mothers. It's their instinct to protect. So sheep, when they're feeling stressed or aggressive, might start doing this. So it's never a good idea to go into the pen with the ewe and the lamb, especially when she's just after lambing, okay? It's a much better idea. Maybe the farmer will hand the lamb out to you when you're outside. Sometimes those lambs do need the milk. They need the extra milk, or they need the extra help, so they have to be bottle fed. But doing it safely and carefully is absolutely vital. So young children going in, that's not a good idea. Always wait for somebody to hand the lamb to you, and you have this barrier between you, okay? That's a great question. Thank you for that. That's all for us now, Alison. It's back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, Alma, and thank you to all the boys and girls who are there with you. Francis, a couple of questions for you. During Jessy's presentation, she spoke about how much she loves football, but what if a child accidentally kicked their ball into a field full of animals?
Well, what we would say in that situation is the child and maybe the other friends that they're playing with would take a second to think. You know, the question would be, will I go in and get the ball out of the field? Or maybe I shouldn't go into the field, and why might that be? And that might be because there could be animals in the field like cows or sheep, and we talked about the sheep with their lambs. Even a sheep can be dangerous and cannot like a child inside in the field. So if the ball goes in, what I would say is that they should tell an adult in the house that the ball has gone into the field. And even an adult in the house that is not the farmer, that doesn't own the animals, that the animals don't know, shouldn't get the ball either. It should be only the farmer that should go into the field to collect the ball. So that adult should make contact with the farmer to take the ball out of the field. Because even adults, animals can, you know, if they're not familiar with the animals, then the animals can decide that they don't like them in the field. And, you know, it's one of those things that we need to avoid.
Absolutely. And Jessy and Alma actually spoke about dogs, which is interesting. We might not always think about dogs when we're talking about farm safety. But what would you suggest to a child that's going onto a farm before they get out of the car if there's a dog there? Yeah,
so if they're visiting a farm, it's very important before they go to make the family know that they're coming. It might be to visit a friend, just to ring ahead to say I'm going to be there in 10 or 15 minutes. And then when they arrive, not to get out of the car, because sometimes, as was discussed with the children and with Alma, the dog may not know them or will not know them. So they're territorial. They'll want to protect the farm and the farmyard. Sometimes the farm and farmyard are connected, so the dog will be maybe still in the farmyard, but as soon as the car comes in, the dog might appear. So just make sure that the farmer is there before you exit the car. And also when you're in, you know, around the house, and you see there might be a dog there that might be very friendly. But if you start playing, sometimes their demeanour might change. So keeping your eyes open and alert. If you don't like what the dog is showing in relation to signs, tell the parent that you don't like the dog is looking at you a little bit strange. So, you know, it's important to read the signs.
Perfect. Thank you, Francis. So we've loads of questions coming in here. We might just fly through them with Alma and Francis. So Alma, I'm going to throw out the first one here to you. And it's from St. Patrick's National School. And they're saying, my parents always tell me to stay away from the drinking troughs. Why is that?
Drinking trough, even though it's providing much needed water for the animals, can actually be a drowning hazard also. So it's really important, especially young, small children, that they don't try and lift themselves up just in case they tip forward, okay? Because then their head weight is going forward, okay? So absolutely, always keep back from the water trough, especially for young children. So that's great advice coming from that child's parents.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you. And Francis, what age is okay to be on a tractor?
So the legislation from the Health and Safety Authority is 7. So you need to be 7 and older to be actually in a tractor. But not only that, the tractor has to have a seat for a passenger, and it has to have a seat belt. So the seat belt needs to be put on as well when the child is in the tractor.
Okay, great. And a question here about the safety signs. What if a farmer didn't display their safety signs? So Alma, do you want to take that?
Well, it is under their farm risk assessment statements, they do have to put up a safety sign, especially at the entrance of the farm, to let people know that they are entering a hazardous workplace. And it's worth noting at this stage that a farmyard is the most dangerous workplace. But for so many of us and many of the children here in St. Joseph's, it's also our home. So knowing where the boundary is in terms of when we must be extra cautious is really important.
Thank you, Alma. And Francis, sheep look very quiet, but once I was in a field and I was chased by one, says a child here. Do sheep normally chase people?
Well, yeah, sheep can. I suppose you have to put yourself into the mindset of the sheep. So if you are a sheep and you have 2 little baby lambs with you, and you see this stranger in your field and it's coming close to you and it's getting inside your comfort zone, just like ourselves when we're, if we come in contact with someone and they don't know us, there's a comfort zone around the sheep. If you start coming into that, she'll try to protect her lambs because she thinks you're a threat. So the advice is to stay out of fields that even have sheep in them. And rams can be very territorial as well. The daddy sheep can be very territorial. So stay out of livestock fields unless you have an adult with you who knows what the livestock are like in that particular field.
Great, thank you. And there's a question in here from Freya in first class in Watergrass Hill, and she'd like to know what would happen if someone was playing and the person driving the tractor doesn't see them. What can that person do so that the driver of the tractor will see them? Alma, do you want to take that one?
Well, it's extremely important that as soon as you hear a tractor engine that you get yourself to a safe place. So you are going to put yourself maybe behind the gate or creating a barrier, and definitely enough distance from you and the driver. The driver, remember, is very high up. Their hearing will be very limited in what they can actually hear. So it is up to them that they are back the whole time as soon as that engine can be heard. And it's also important for drivers to make sure that within their own tractors that their vision is as good as it can possibly be. So making sure the wing mirrors are clean and in place. Windows around the tractor are also perfectly clean, because that does everything to help everybody stay safe and to remain as visible as possible. And I would recommend also that when we're out and about in the countryside, where tractors and machinery might be, that high-vis vests are used.
Yeah, great advice there, Alma. And Francis, a question from Ava in Tuamgraney National School. What is an okay age where you can help out or start working on the farm?
So the conversations we would have with farmers and people responsible for farms would be that when young people start to work on the farm, it's different for every child. So it really means, what I really mean by that is that the job that you give the child to do. So if they're helping out on the farm and it's, we'll say, sweeping the yard, that you're with them. And when they're physically capable to do that, well, that's the time that you can start to do it in a small, structured way. And as you move up through the years, then you can take on more responsible type work. Yeah. You have to be over 14 to actually drive a tractor in a yard, on the farm, and then over 16 to drive on the public road. But only when you have had training and supervision, and that you're capable and competent to do that job.
Thanks, Francis. Alma, just one more back to you. From Sculmwira in Leixlip, can you feed animals that you see in a field beside the road?
No. If these are farm animals, then it's not a good idea to approach the animals if they aren't yours. By all means, if you see a farmer close by, you can ask. But cows especially can be extremely skittish, especially around people that they don't know. And I should ask that if you are at petting farms, etc., over the summer months, and you're feeding horses, for example, or donkeys, always make sure you keep your hand nice and flat, never curved, nice and flat. Give the animal enough space and time to take the piece of food off you, okay? And make sure you bring your hand up close enough and let them come to you the rest of the way. And remember, wash those hands afterwards.
Thank you, Alma. And we have so many questions in here, we'll never get through them all. But Francis, just to wrap up, is there anywhere we can get more information about farm safety during the summer?
Yeah, so for anyone watching that would like to get more information, the Teagasc website has a dedicated section all focused on safety, and there's sections focused on safety for children. On the Health and Safety Authority website, they have resources for primary schools and for secondary school children age. And Alma Jordan from Agrikids, she has a very good website there for resources, and obviously can make contact with any of us in relation to any specific information that anyone would like, be it Alma or ourselves or the HSA.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. And thank you to everyone who submitted questions. So Francis, Alma and Jessy, thank you so much for sharing all those important farm safety tips with us. We've learned how to spot safety signs, how to stay safe around machinery, and how we can be extra careful with farm animals. Okay, boys and girls, it's the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to find out who the winners of our farm safety art competition are. Before Jessy tells us who the winners are, on behalf of the judges, I just want to say a big, massive thank you to all the boys and girls who entered. You did amazing artwork and we received in over 1,300 brilliant pictures. You are all farm safety champions now, just like Jessy, and now you can help to keep everyone safe on the farm this summer. The winners will be getting Smith's Toys vouchers and a special Lily Nolan Memorial Trophy. Lily Nolan was the person who first created Jessy, and you can find her original book on the Teagasc website. Also, Alma will be bringing the Agrikids Farm Safety Workshop to the schools of the winners in 2026. So the first category is the junior to senior infants. Jessy, can you tell us who the winners are here?
Well done to all competitors. In this category, the runner-up is Killian Carey from Sculvera, Kells, County Meath. And the overall winner is Hannah Riney from Roltnamara, County Kerry.
Wow, two really colourful and impactful signs. Well done to Hannah and Killian. Next we're going to the first to third class category. Jessy, over to you.
The runner-up in this category is Conor Hosford from Rennie's National School, Balgooley, County Cork. And the overall winner is Crea Small from Stodone, County Cavan.
Crea, you included a lot of farm safety messages there in your picture. And Conor, you're right, you should never walk behind an animal. Finally, on to our last category, the 4th to 6th class. Jessy, can you tell us who the winners are, please?
In the last category, the runner-up is Chloe Lusser from Brownsgrove National School, Tuam, County Galway. Chloe's slogan is, drive your tractor slow and steady, stay alert and always ready. The overall winner is Aaron from Drim National School in Lochgray, County Galway. Aaron's slogan is, stay on paths, don't stray away. Farm safety makes for a brighter day.
Well done, Aaron and Chloe. Two really impactful slogans there. And well done to all the boys and girls who entered. The winners' trophies and the vouchers will be posted out next week. Wow, Francis, what a fun and exciting day that was. I have really enjoyed hosting this webinar. And thank you all so much for being part of our farm safety event. We learned a lot today about signs, how signs can keep us safe, and how to stay safe around machinery and animals. And we got to see your amazing art too. For more information on farm safety, please go to the Teagasc, the Health and Safety Authority, or the Agrikids website for more information. A big thank you to everyone who took part today, especially our wonderful artists and their teachers. And remember, you are all Jessy's farm safety champions now. A huge thank you to Alma and all the kids at St. Joseph's National School.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to all the boys and girls here in St. Joseph's National School in Rathwire, and congratulations to all the winners. We're going to leave you with a very special tractor wave. Bye!
Thank you, Alma, and thank you as well to the Principal of St. Joseph's National School, Shay McCarthy, and all the staff there for their help with this event. Thank you to the production team of Declan McCardle and Charlie Smith. And to finish up, I just want to ask you all to keep sharing what you've learned today with others. Stay safe this summer, and we hope to welcome you all back again real soon.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining.